ईक्षणं द्विगुणं प्रोक्तां भाषणस्येति वेदसा अक्षि द्वे मनुष्याणां जिह्वा द्वैकेव निर्मिता. Listening, perceiving and understanding is twice as important as speaking. This is why we have been given 2 ears and just 1 tongue.
Of all the communication skills, listening is the most fundamental, yet the most underrated in formal education. Listening is an art form, a sacred pact between 2 or more people, which involves putting aside your own thoughts and opening your heart and mind to the people you're listening to, and allowing yourself to be changed. This makes listening a form of meditation. Sound is regarded as divine in Sanatana Dharma. The Vedas and Agamas are called Shruti, that which is heard, as they were originally received by rishis as an oral transmission from the cosmos. A well-defined learning methodology by listening or Shruti ensured that the knowledge transmission happened accurately, generation after generation, for thousands of years. Considering our vast body of scriptures, this feat could be regarded as listening at its refined best. Even the Song of God, the Bhagavad Gita, the first, finest and eternal user manual to right living, was orally imparted in a battlefield by Lord Sri Krishna to an astute listener, Arjuna. The all-knowing Sri Krishna first intently listens to Arjuna's laments for the entire first chapter until Arjuna has emptied his heart and became a perfect receptor. Only then Sri Krishna imparts his divine knowledge. Thus, the objective of listening is not to counter, not to object, not to critique, not to convince, but solely to understand and empathize. Such listening builds closer relationships, resolves conflicts, and fosters empathy. Such listeners are deemed more likable and trustworthy. We often consider hearing and listening to be the same. But hearing is a passive, effortless process like breathing. Listening, on the other hand, involves effort, paying attention to the verbal as well as non-verbal messages like tone of voice, gestures, and general body language of the speaker. There are many types of listening encountered in our daily lives, which can be broadly classified into passive and active listening. Here are some common forms of passive listening. Informational listening occurs while absorbing information without immediate critical response. Appreciative listening occurs while enjoying content, such as music or a speech that satisfies listeners' interests. Casual listening occurs with low engagement and little attention to the speaker. Listeners are physically present but mentally distracted. Selective listening is paying attention only to those parts that the listener finds interesting or agreeable. Biased listening occurs when the listener's preconceived ideas or biases affect their interpretation of the speech or even the speaker. False listening occurs when one is pretending to listen, often for social politeness or to avoid confrontation. Active listening is a 5-stage process of receiving, understanding, evaluating, remembering, and responding. Here are some examples. Comprehensive listening involves understanding the meanings conveyed by language, including vocabulary and syntax. Critical listening engages in analyzing and evaluating the information presented, encouraging a deeper understanding and response. Empathetic listening focuses on understanding another's perspective or feelings without judgment, often used in therapeutic settings. Participative listening involves active engagement from participants by asking questions and encouraging further dialogue. Rapport listening aims to establish a deeper connection and understanding, emphasizing empathetic engagement. Reflective and deep listening involves both understanding and reflecting on the speaker's message to understand underlying meanings, emotions, and beliefs. To paraphrase an eloquent author, Lisbeth Lipari, from the book Listening, Thinking, Being, do not listen with ears or the mind, but with the spirit. The function of the ears ends with hearing, that of the mind with symbols or ideas, but the spirit is an emptiness ready to receive all things. Tao abides in the emptiness. This emptiness is fasting of the mind. This form of listening, as a fasting of the mind, is related to the Buddhist idea of upekha, that is, equanimity. It requires a certain inner emptiness, a form of detachment with a heightened awareness. Here, the listener's emptiness is a form of inner silence that has suspended the noise of inner discursive thought to focus and absorb the other's words beyond the confines of what the listener has previously thought, believed, or understood.